From losing trophies because of a notification to your entire team being destroyed by Mandy, this is all your Brawl Stars pains in one video. You've probably had to grind ranked before, and it's always rough when you get stuck with bad randoms. But the absolute worst feeling is being just 12 points away from ranking up to something like Mythic, only to lose the next match and drop all the way down to Bronze. At this point, it's basically a canon event for every Brawl Stars player. Everyone loves when brawlers get released, but what's even better is grabbing them early from Star Road by forwarding credits during that limited time window. But the worst feeling, when you're just a little bit late and finally start grinding credits, only to realize you need way more than you thought. So you're like, fine, I'll just spend some gems to skip the grind. But then, boom, you're literally one gem short. One single gem. If this has ever happened to you, you already know. Your luck is actually cursed. Some brawlers can charge their super pretty easily, while others not so much. But the worst pain ever is when you dive into a dangerous fight, barely make it to cover, and realize your super is at 99% with just 1 HP left. And then only to get killed the second you try to finish charging it. Ugh. I bet you've been invited by a friend to Brawl Stars at their place, and you were pretty excited about it. But then you realize they have the worst Wi-Fi ever. Every time you try to move or shoot, everything lags like crazy, and you just end up getting killed. That's also the moment when you do El Primo jump on their Wi-Fi router, which probably explains why they blocked you forever. Do you know who the biggest enemy of Brawl Stars players is? Okay, Edgar players are pretty bad, but there's someone even worse. Players with troll names in Brawl Ball. They're usually tryhards, and when they score, you'll see the wildest names pop up like, haha, losers, I scored. And trust me, there are much worse names out there, and they'll definitely make you eat your phone for breakfast. Notifications are totally annoying, especially when your taxman messages you. But there's nothing worse than the low battery notification that always pops up in the middle of a battle, which you can't even mute. You press OK, and boom, you're literally eliminated. However, some phones have notifications that don't interrupt gameplay, which is something iPhone should definitely consider. Yeah, we're all switching to pair phones after that one. Teaming has been haunting players since the very beginning of Brawl Stars, and honestly, it's a total nightmare. You load into a solo showdown just to see 3 players teaming up against you and demolish you. Supercell already tried fixing this by adding duo showdown into the game, which didn't solve anything. But hey, if it takes a whole squad to take you down, maybe that just means you're a pro. Old ranked was already frustrating, but the new system is even worse. Back in the day, you only need 12 level 9 brawlers to reach diamond rank, but after the rework, you now need 12 level 11 brawlers just to play in Mythic League. Yeah, inflation has even hit Brawl Stars rank. Look guys, I love El Primo, but some players make you wish he never existed. Okay, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but you've definitely played with that El Primo in Gem Grab. You know, the one who hoards all the gems, and just when your team's about to win, he does that El Primo jump and loses everything. I'd call those players El Mido because they're just mid. When a new brawler drops and they're completely overpowered, you already know what's coming. Every match gets flooded with that brawler. Seriously, it's like they're the only character in the game. The most insane example of this, Buzz Lightyear. When Buzz Lightyear dropped, the game basically became unplayable. So many players just straight up quit until Supercell finally stepped in and nerfed him. But by then, most people had already gotten bored and moved on. Challenges are a pretty cool addition to the game, especially since they give out free rewards. But let's be real, they're only fun until you run out of lives. Everyone knows that feeling when you're one win away from the final reward, and then you lose the challenge. Seriously, it almost feels like Supercell rigs that last win just to mess with us. Legendary drops shouldn't even be called legendary, because let's be real, you're 99% guaranteed to get something bad, and that 1% chance is probably just gonna give you Shelly. They don't even compare with mega boxes because back in the day, opening a mega box actually felt exciting. You could pull a legendary or a ton of coins, but now opening legendary drops feel more like a common pin pack. We totally need mega boxes back. Do you know what Jesse and Belle have in common? They're both absolute masters at making you rage. Everyone's been there, running for your life with just 1 HP left, thinking you've somehow survived the chaos, only to get sniped by Jesse's stupidly accurate bounce shot or Belle's bullet ricocheting off your clueless teammate halfway across the map. Like, how does that even hit me? I hate this game. One of the most annoying types of players in Brawl Stars ranked are suggest spammers. They'll spam brawler suggestions non-stop, making that notification pop up 1,000 times. But still, that's not as bad as the players who steal your brawler the second the match loads, and then end up being the worst player on the team. If you're a Gus main, you probably remember the pain of fighting brawlers that could fly over water. Back in the day, there was a glitch that stopped Gus's shots from going over water. So if you were up against someone like Angelo, he could easily snipe you while your balloon would just stop at the edge of of the water. I guess Supercell didn't inflate his balloons enough. Did you know players can reject your invite? Well, I didn't because, well, I have no friends. Okay, but seriously, it's so frustrating when a friend you usually play with rejects your invite right in front of your face. Like, they're online all day, but suddenly they found someone better to play with? Honestly, I'd consider that cheating. How dare you? Speaking of friends, something even worse than rejecting an invite is when your friend leaves the game without telling you. You start a match, see the loading screen, and then boom, your friend is tagged with the offline text. Like, at least say you're leaving. Now I'm just gonna have to find out where you're hiding. Okay, maybe that's a good way to end up in jail. Getting eliminated is already frustrating, but it's even worse when you've just charged up your Hypercharge, ready to demolish the enemy team, only to get instantly killed the moment you activate it. There should definitely be some kind of short invisibility window after using a Hypercharge. Seeing Mandy in knockout is probably every player's worst nightmare, and it's all because of her super. Imagine you're walking toward the middle with your team, all grouped up, and then bam, Mandy's super comes straight at all three of you. Yeah, that's when you know it's time to log off for the day. Everyone loves power cubes, but you've probably had the moment where someone swoops in and steals a cube right after you open a box or took down an enemy right in front of your brawler. This is especially frustrating when you're playing Piper, since her shots only deal high damage from a distance, meaning you can't grab the cube fast enough. We seriously need to start saying swiper, no swiping. I bet you've seen those annoying quests where you have to deal a ridiculous 300,000 damage with a certain brawler. Everyone knows it's pretty easy if you get a good damage dealer, but if you pull Poco, you're basically doomed. Seriously, how are you supposed to deal that much damage with a healer? And it's even worse if you've already used up all your quest rerolls. At that point, you might as well just close the game and touch some grass. If you're playing a brawler with a turret like Penny or 8-Bit, you probably place it safely behind a wall, right? Well, then comes Brock, who can literally shoot his rocket over the wall and destroy your sentry with his splash damage like he's got built-in wall hacks. No, my turret! That one had a special hand-engraved Balootic on it. Willow's mind control is straight up broken in Brawl Ball. Her super is so overpowered it's ridiculous, and Supercell still hasn't fixed it. She can literally hijack a teammate who's carrying the ball, walk straight to your own goal, and score, because you can't even attack your teammates to stop it. This glitch is insane, and yeah, I'm definitely blaming my teammate and Supercell for that self-goal. Teammates that don't care about their team are the worst, especially when you're up against Squeak. He throws his bomb on your teammates, and instead of running away, that genius teammate runs straight towards you, explodes, and takes both of you out. That's literally killing two birds with one rock. Since Sphinx's release, it didn't take players too long to find a way to make him a total pain. If Sphinx uses his time-slowing super in Heist and an enemy Ems comes to attack, her attack gets slowed down, but here's the crazy part. While slowed down, her attack will deal enormous damage, literally obliterating the safe in just a few seconds. I personally think that Sphinx players should just rewind time to when they didn't exist. There you have it. All your Brawl Stars pain in one video. Make sure to subscribe and check out the video on the screen.